All right, so it's time for another maintenance job here on the New Holland Workmaster 40 compact tractor. So this is the part that I haven't done yet, and the tractor's got 170 hours on it. I'm going to go ahead and do this, which is to change out the fluid in the front axle. So according to the manual, this holds about 6 quarts. I went ahead and bought a couple of gallons of heavy duty gear oil. So I've got a total of 8 quarts, should be plenty. But here's basically how you do it. You'll notice that on these axles, on these New Holland tractors, you've got a drain bolt here, and on the other side, the drain bolt is on the back, but it's in the same location, just on the back. So I'm using the bucket here to raise the axle up off the ground. By the way, when you're doing this, don't get up under the tractor, because if the hydraulics fail, you'll get crushed. So don't do that. I'm standing over sort of to the side, so I'm not under anything. But anyhow, I'm using the bucket to raise the axle up off the ground. That way I can tilt the axle down and drain as much of this fluid out as I can. And then once this stops peeing like that, then I'll go over to the other side, pull that plug, tilt the axle down over there, and just try to drain everything out that I can. You can see, maybe you can see, the fluid did look a little bit nasty. It's not terrible, but with 170-ish hours on it and 2.5 years of use, it's starting to look a little bit rough, so it won't hurt to do this. So that's the first part, is just draining all the old stuff out. This is on the left-hand side of the tractor, by the way. Then, after we get that accomplished, we're going to go over here to the right-hand side of the tractor. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because according to the manual, this fill plug here, mine just had a cap in it, see? But according to the manual, this should have had a dipstick on it. Obviously, mine doesn't. So I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to get the correct level in there, but you do have another plug right up here, and this one is for the purpose of letting air out. And I'm thinking that probably once we fill this axle up with fluid, probably we'll be able to pull this plug and check the level. Maybe this releases air and gets you to the correct level. In other words, if the fluid comes up to the bottom of this plug, maybe that's the correct level. So we'll try that and see, because obviously I don't have a dipstick here. But that's basically all there is to it. We're going to pull both of these. You can see on the back side of the axle. There's the other drain plug down here on the back side of that one. So we're going to drain both of those. And then we'll start adding fluid up here. Maybe what I will do is go ahead and pull this plug right here out and just start adding fluid here until it runs out there. I think that ought to work. Maybe I'll try that. But in any case, the manual says that the system holds about 6 quarts. So I can also kind of gauge that as I'm putting the fluid in. Not a real big deal, but you know, we run this tractor in 4-wheel drive pretty much all the time, because since these compact tractors are so lightweight, I find that it really doesn't have very good traction in 2-wheel drive. So we run 4-wheel almost all the time out here, and that's definitely something you want to keep up on with your maintenance, is your front drive fluid. So got all the other stuff done earlier this summer. We did filters and oil and checked all the hydraulics, greased everything up, greased up the front end loader. Pretty much did everything as far as maintenance goes earlier this summer, except for this. So now this tractor will be ready to go for the upcoming winter. Gosh, it'll be here before you know it. And I have a feeling that this winter we're going to be pushing some snow with this thing. So this will get her ready to go, and we won't have to worry about it anymore until, well, probably a couple more years before I have to do the front axle fluid again. Anyhow, just wanted to show you that if you got one of these tractors. It's the same on the 35 and the 40, and it may be similar on the Workmaster 25 also, but if you ever wondered how exactly that works, that's how it works. Just FYI, it did in fact work out exactly like I was thinking. So I pulled this top plug right here, and I left it out while I was filling up the axle. And once I put 6 quarts in, I noticed that it started to weep out of this hole. So Just like the manual says, it does take 6 quarts to fill this front axle. And if you don't have a dipstick up here, the way that I don't have one, all you gotta do is keep this plug right here out. This is your check plug, and that will let you know when you got plenty of fluid in there. Awesome. So now that's done, and I'm ready to go work.